In the name of Christ, we do pray. Amen. Amen. All right. So if I'm doing a doctrinal series of sermons, what I would probably do is begin with more of the simpler kind of elements with regard to the establishing of the church, the development of the church, the doctrine of the church, and then we go from there. The thinking behind that is when you really want to understand how something is supposed to work, you want to go as far back and as close as you can to where things got started. And then that way, you'll get some sense of kind of, where you're going to go today. There's a concept in business called franchising. And when you franchise a restaurant, you take the mother restaurant, if you will, and then you clone it. And so let's say that you want to open a Chick-fil-A franchise or maybe a Starbucks franchise. Well, if you do Chick-fil-A, they're pretty strict. So if you go to Chick-fil-A here in California, Chick-fil-A in Texas, Chick-fil-A in Florida, you're going to pretty much see the same offerings. Whereas Starbucks, they're more strict, but they have some flexibility. And if you know anything about Magic Johnson, when Magic Johnson did franchising around Starbucks, he introduced sweet potato pie. Now, who can tell me why Magic Johnson introduced sweet potato pie? Anybody? Yeah, culture. I mean, if you're going to be serving Black people, most of us, associate a good cup of coffee and a good slice of sweet potato pie, not pumpkin, but sweet potato pie. So if you can think of those concepts, then you're going to have some appreciation, I'm hoping, for what we're going to be sharing, at least today. We'll see how far we get today. We are, in essence, trying to, as best we can, reproduce and replicate a lot of what we see in the first century. Now, there are some discussions about how far do we need to take this, which is kind of what we're going to talk about on today. For example, when you look at how they did things in the early church, literally, how close can we get? Now, I'll give you an example. A lot of people think that the singing we do today is like the singing they did in the first century church. And the only thing that we share in common with the first century church is that we don't sing with instruments. That's the only thing. Harmony, as we understand it, wasn't invented until a little later. So this beautiful harmony that you hear more than likely did not exist in the form that we see it today. The style of singing was different. And I know this because I've had quite a few fights about music in the church. All you got to do is go to a Hebrew school and look on their order of worship and their gatherings and just ask them if you can go and sit into some of their assemblies. Now, they're more contemporary now, but when they really try to do it like they did in the Bible, it's more of a monotone, more of a chant. So envision all these people sitting in an assembly and they're being led in song. And even that is